Like life and death, moon and sun, it's sure to each the piper comes. And while God and Goddess give for free, down below there will be fees. Despite perfect love and perfect trust, there's no way around it. Cash is a must. We've sought within, but come up short. So we come to thee, your help to court. If you would aid this temple's life, a $3 donation would be nice. Remember well that gifts when sent return threefold of what was spent. But if you can't, well, blessed be. We shall survive, so mote it be.
Marry me! I'm Lady Nefty's of Universal Pagan Temple, and I'm here with a new video series called Invoking the Gods. This video series will be highlighting individual gods and goddesses of various pantheons, and a few little facts about them, how to invoke them, and how they make me feel. Now, our first god we will be covering is a goddess, known as Frigg or Frigga of the Norse pantheon. Now, Frigg or Frigga, either pronunciation is correct. She is known as the All-Mother, as opposed to her husband, Odin, who is known as the All-Father. She is the Mother Goddess, and she is also the Queen of the Aesir. She is the goddess of motherhood, children, parenting, weaving, foresight, the home, divination, and she is also an earth goddess. Her hall is Vinsalir, which is the marsh hall, so marshlands and bogs are sacred to her, and she is the only god who can sit next to Odin on his high throne. Now, crystals that are sacred to her and are good as offerings are moonstone and quartz, and metals that are sacred to her are silver and copper, and her sacred colors are silver and blue. Now, Frigga is depicted as using a spinning wheel that she uses to spin the clouds, but also fate and destiny. She's associated with the constellation Orion, more specifically Orion's belt, which is known in the north as Frigga's spinning wheel, and she spins the fate and destiny of her worshippers, friends, and family. It is said that she is present at the birth of every child. Now, ask for Frigga's aid in divination and psychic ability, or with help in caring with children and help with family matters or raising children, or finding a partner or a happy home life. But when you are asking any god or goddess to help you, make sure you're putting forth the effort so they see that you want this change, because remember, the gods help only those who help themselves. Now, Frigga's sacred day is Friday. It is also known as Freya's sacred day as well. That's probably because in the Teutonic or German pantheon, Frigga and Freya are the same goddess, but in the Norse pantheon they are separate goddesses. So whichever floats your boat, if you prefer to have Frigga's Day on Friday or Freya's Day on Friday. Myself, I like to do both. Why not both? But about Frigga and her prophecies. So Frigga knows the fate of all, but she never shares her knowledge, not even with her husband Odin. So for Frigga, even being able to see and even change the fates of others, she was at one point not able to save her son. So the story goes that she foresaw the death of her beloved son Balder. So what she did, she went to every person, every object, every plant and animal, and she had them pledge an oath to her not to harm her son. So this resulted in Balder not being able to be harmed by any person or anything. So Loki saw this, and so he went and did his thing, and he snuck into Frigga's hall, dressed up as an old woman, and he asked around. So apparently, Frigga had said that the only thing that she did not ask was the plant known as the mistletoe. And so Loki, knowing this, he went out and he got a sprig of mistletoe, and he gave it to Balder's brother, the blind god Hod. And so Hod, not knowing that this was the mistletoe, he threw it at Balder, who fell dead, and obviously Frigga most definitely mourned the loss of her son. So here is a brief invocation to the goddess Frigga. Frigga, all-mother and beautiful one, sovereign mother of kingship, I welcome thee. All-powerful queen of heaven, I honor thee. Spinner of the thread of life, I respect thee. Wise knower of destiny, I revere thee. Now a bit about how I feel about Frigga. So, recently, earlier this year, I was reading a book on Norse mythology. And as I've been saying, if you watch my Year in the Day course, if you study different pantheons, a goddess or a god that you haven't been looking into will reach out to you and say, hey, I'm here. I want to be involved in your life. And so that for me was Frigga. And so I discovered this goddess in a deep manner when I was doing a full moon ritual about several months ago, and her presence was overwhelming and powerful. When Gregory was drawing down the moon into me, I felt her presence like I've never felt the goddess before, and it was just awe-inspiring and just amazing. Her energy is just so strong, and it's very motherly. Obviously, she's a mother goddess, but I've worked with various other mother goddesses, but her mothering energy is just astounding and awe-inspiring and just so over the top, strong, and I've never felt that from a mother goddess before. And I do feel that connection of the mother goddess with her more strongly than I felt it, with working with other mother goddesses. But I feel her presence most often in the falling rain on the roof, that comfort I feel with overcast skies. I really enjoy overcast days. If you know me a little bit, if you watch the, I believe it's the altar videos, I speak about how I'm originally from Texas, and I moved up here to Washington State because the weather, I like rainy weather. I love the rain, and I've never connected it to a goddess or god before. I connect more readily with the Egyptian pantheon originally, and the goddess of rain in the Egyptian pantheon is Tefnut, but I never really had a connection to her. But I feel Frigga's energy and her presence in the rainfall and the comfort of the overcast skies. You're not going to get sunburned today, it's overcast. Isn't that great? And she actually does weave the clouds, which is a great aspect of her, that she creates those clouds through her spinning wheel, and she spins the threads of fate of my life and everybody else's life and Gregory's life. And it's just wonderful that I found this goddess, and that's why I encourage everybody that I teach. They say to me, how do I find my patron god or goddess? Well, start reading into mythologies and you'll find them. They'll come out and come and get you. And that's not in a bad manner, it's just they will be drawn to you as you are drawn to them, and you will feel that strong connection. And also, I also feel her presence. Gregory and I were driving through the mountains last week, the Cascade Mountains, and I felt her presence being amongst the mountains, going through the passes, and at certain points in the mountains, you're climbing an elevation, so you see actual clouds outside your car window. They're, miles off, but they're pretty close, it feels like. And I felt her presence there, her comforting presence, like the mother covering you with your favorite blanket. And she is just an awesome goddess to work with. And even if you don't connect with her, take the time to go study and research a god or goddess of a particular pantheon you feel drawn to, and you develop a wonderful relationship with that goddess or god. And I've got a little Frigga statue back here that I found after I connected to her, and I was very happy to find her. And she's this statue, you know, it just radiates her energy, unlike other god and goddess statues that I've found that, you know, depict a god or goddess but don't really radiate their energy. This one definitely does. I hope you learned something about the goddess Frigga. Now, until next time, blessed be!